thrilled. Yay! I am Dylan McGee, founder of McGee Media and makers. Gloria, a Life brings us a richly detailed tapestry about one of the most inspiring and remarkable women of our time. Written by Tony Award-nominee Emily Mann and directed by visionary Tony Award-winner Diane Paulus, Gloria Life celebrates a dynamic all-women cast featuring Christine Lahti, yoo-hoo, and a creative and producing team led by the one and only Daryl Roth. Let's take a look.
Now you have heard of women's rights and how we've tried to reach new heights. If we're all created equal, that's us too. Yeah, but you will probably not recall that it's not been too long at all since we even had the right to cast a vote. But we were suffering until suffering. Not a woman here could vote no matter what age. And the 19th Amendment struck down that restrictive rule. Yes, the 19th Amendment struck down that restrictive rule. All right, we got it now.
Well, the Build audience welcomes you, Daryl, you, Christine. I mean, what a thrill to be here with you two today. Talking about this incredible play that you two play key roles in. I saw it, I loved it, and I'm a huge critic because I did an HBO documentary on Gloria, as you know.
Which we love.
Thanks. Well, I mean, I was like, forget the documentary, go to the play. It is just, I mean, watching it, you know, having spent time with Gloria, it was like, there she was again. There's a clone in the world, people. This is a good thing. So really, today, we just want to hear about the play. We want to hear about you two. And, you know, when we did the HBO documentary, I remember the moment pitching it to HBO, and Sheila Nevins, you know, the legendary head of HBO Docs, she went into the hallway, and she said to all the people in the hallway, who knows who Gloria Steinem is? And I have to say, very few people did. So why did you do this play? And can you tell our audience, you know, in your words, who is Gloria Steinem?
Well, I would say one of the reasons that we're doing this play is exactly because of what you said. You know, I'm the mother of a daughter and 3 granddaughters. And when I would speak to my granddaughters about Gloria Steinem, they weren't quite sure actually who that was. I mean, they knew the name, but they had no idea on whose shoulders all of the women in my family stand on. And I felt it was a beautiful story to tell, and one that would be inspirational in these times. You know, Gloria's been doing this for so many years, leading the way. You know, she found her own voice sort of in the middle of her life. And it's just something for us all to understand what it takes to be your own activist, and then to be able to activate others and to be able to encourage other people to tell their stories. So part of the reason we wanted to do this is that. And the other good reason is because she came to me and said, do you think this would make an interesting piece of theater? And I said, when she walked into my office, anything. I will do anything. And felt truly honored to be able to do this.
And then Christine, the pressure, playing Gloria Steinem. What did that, you know, the moment you find out you're going to be playing this role, how does that feel to take on that role of Gloria?
I didn't really feel pressure. I felt just a great sense of being honored, and I was so thrilled. I mean, Gloria Steinem saved my life as a woman in college. I didn't know about feminism, and then Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan and others really changed the course of my life. And feminism, because of them, I learned about feminism, and it became my life jacket that I would be able to use to navigate through a world that I found didn't really like or respect women that much. And it's been so important to me. Every day I am grateful and thankful to people like Gloria, upon whose shoulders I stand. I'll get my pronouns right.
I don't know. I don't know if you're standing on her shoulders. I think you two are melded
well,
together.
we're melded together. Yeah, I guess we are now. But she's also an old friend. So I didn't really feel nervous. She was so open and collaborative and wanted to tell a very honest story about, as Daryl said, a very unwoke woman who had a messed up childhood and wanted to inspire others to think, well, if she can do it, I can do it. If she can change the world like she has, maybe I, who's also imperfect and had a messed up whatever, like we all have, maybe I can help change the world. So I think that was a big part of her inspiration.
Well, and one of the things that to know Gloria is to love that. What's amazing about it is that it's not just about Gloria; it's about the women's movement.
Well, it would have to be because the personal story of Gloria is so much about the women's movement. I mean, they are so intertwined.
And if I may add, Gloria is such a person full of humility that for everything that she's done, it's always about the other women who inspired me. It's about my experiences, the stories other women told me. She's not one to take credit for any of this magnificent journey she's been on. She's a person who is so gracious that you almost feel the humility and have to admire it and hopefully emulate it when you're with her.
Don't you love that, how she claps, and you do it in the
Yes.
It's like, it's not about me. She's clapping.
She's clapping for the audience
all
for
of
coming.
you. Yeah.
She's just got the biggest heart.
I know.
And she's made such a difference in the way that she has behaved through it all.
So was she involved in the
Very.
process? I mean, so tell us about that. What would she do? Would she come and sit in and watch rehearsals, the writing?
Well, the beginning was, if I may just step back and tell you the beginnings of how this all happened. She came to me, Kathy Najimy came with her, and they talked about what it is they thought would be a good theater experience. And basically it was to tell her story, parts of her stories that she wanted to incorporate and weave together as a play, and that she would perform it as a one-person show. I took it to Lincoln Center Theater at that point because they do beautiful work, and the one-person concept was something that they have often done, like a Monday, Sunday night combination. We thought, great. And they were so welcoming, and they loved it. And together, Andre Bishop and I came up with the idea that Emily Mann would be a wonderful person to write it, and they have a strong dramaturgical staff, and that's how we began. And we did it. The play became, evolved, and we did a reading of it. And Gloria was very happy that we had done it, but she was not certain that it was something she really wanted to do, after all, herself. But we said, no problem. There are many actors who can do this. We're not giving up this project. It's too magnificent. And as it happened, Diane Paulus came into our mix then as this remarkable visionary director that she is. And the play became a proper play. It was no longer a one-person storytelling evening. It was a proper play. At that point, we decided that we would do better, in a theater off Broadway perhaps, that we could expand it, that we could run a proper 8-performance week. And so we were grateful for everything Lincoln Center did to get it birthed, so to speak. And then Gloria agreed that it would be a play that she would be very much a part of, but not in. And I think that is the best thing that could have happened.
But again, she is in it.
She's in it in every moment, but not
What is amazing,
personally.
I mean, Christine, and we were talking about this, when you see this play, Christine it's the fingernails, it's the way she does her hair. I mean, you've embodied her, but so much physically, but also there was, I've read about, Gloria had this complicated relationship with her mother who was mentally ill, and that there was a connection there. I'm curious to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, one of the things that Gloria and I really connected about was our mothers. And my mother, I felt also her spirit was broken by the patriarchy and that she was never able to really realize her full potential because of that. My mother did not suffer from the kind of anxiety disorder that her mother did, but she was nevertheless crushed, I think, her spirit. So when Gloria and I first met, we talked for hours and hours about the fact that we both felt we were living the unlived lives of our mothers. And on that emotional core is what I always felt this play was about, because we share that as well, that the fact that our mothers did not get to have the lives that they should have, could have, would have had were it not for the patriarchy. That is the fuel for our activism. So Gloria grew up seeing that her mother didn't matter, so she wanted to make sure that all women mattered. So
there's actually a line in the play
yeah.
about that, for the unlived lives of our mothers.
Well, and speaking of all women mattering, it's an all-female ensemble. And behind the scenes was also a decision.
That's a
Daryl
Roth.
Daryl, you are a legend in theater.
Thank you. You
just from Kinky Boots to Wit to 7 Pulitzer Prize-winning plays. So is this different for you in that sense?
I have to say thank you for that kindness. I've always tried to bring women into my circle, but not entirely. For Gloria, it felt really significant for me to have an all-women producing team and everyone on the creative team to be women. I just thought it was my way of honoring everything she's done for all of us. So that was my mission, and accomplished, check. I thought it was something special. And generally speaking, I try to bring women into whatever it is I'm producing. And I just feel that all women that are producing now have to have their doors open and invite people in and encourage our male colleagues to meet with the women that are designing sound and lights and sets and costumes and meet them. And so when the next time it is you're producing something and you're looking for some wonderful talent, think about those women that maybe you hadn't worked with before, but
and kudos, I have to say, to Susanna Bild. I noticed there was a female photographer. I'm looking at a woman behind this camera right here. It makes a difference being intentional like that.
Well,
so
I think to be intentional is exactly the word. You have to put your mind to do it, and it becomes your mission. And then more and more people will do it without even thinking about it, just because. Right?
The other thing that was so different about this experience, and theater is meant to be experienced, and you do something very interesting at the end called the talking circle. And I was lucky enough in an early production so the play ends, and then Christine opens it up to the audience to give us feedback on the play, or what are you feeling, and how has that worked out? Were there any moments that stand out that really moved you? Or?
So many moments. It's the most inspiring thing I've ever done as an actress, because normally you do a play and you go home and you don't know how you have potentially touched somebody. And people talk about the play being so transformative for their lives, and young people who didn't know about Gloria are talking about, well, maybe I can make a difference. Maybe my voice does matter, and I didn't know that. And older people, men who are weeping, saying, I've struggled so long with this sort of made-up masculine, assignment that I'm supposed to fulfill, and it's never felt real to me. And they're weeping, and I know I'm not supposed to cry, but I am, and I know I'm not supposed to be a feminist, but I am, but anyway, it's been truly remarkable and inspiring. And
where did that idea come from?
That was Gloria, wasn't it?
Was it Gloria? Yeah. So Gloria.
It's so Gloria. But she had always loved the idea of people communicating in a circle. And I think that concept, she's also said people are linked, not ranked. And so that gives you a very equalitarian feeling. But it was really supported wholeheartedly by our director, Diane Paulus, who has also done talking circles up at ART, where she's the artistic director. And so together, it was the perfect synergy. We all wanted that. And we also felt that the play doesn't end at the end of the play. The play actually pushes open the door for a conversation, which is what Act 2 actually is. It's more than a talkback. We don't even call it a talkback. It's a circle of conversation. And many women have said, many women and men, have said how cathartic it was. It's almost like consciousness raising. And people are saying things that they can't even believe they're saying, but something is touched, a button is pushed.
And also it's what makes theater, right?
Yes.
Because so often, that's the beauty of today, there's media everywhere, but you don't get a lot of people in a room talking about something. And anyway, what you're so inspired at the end that it is this really powerful, as an audience member, I can brag about what it is that you've done. So
thank you. And the main part of it too is that once they leave the theater, to take something with them. Yeah. Think about, what can I do tomorrow? What is the activism that I can punch up in my own life? Because every person makes a difference. I mean, you can just say a kind word to someone, and their life is changed, at least for the moment. I mean, we all get that inspiration, I think, and that's, the talking circle works beautifully, and then you take a part of it with you.
I want to ask you one more question before we move. It goes so fast. There's so much to cover. One of the things that really struck me, and here we are, 3 white women standing here, but the play is so much about Gloria's connection with Black women and the role that they played in really shaping the women's movement. Flo Kennedy, Dorothy Pitman Hughes. Talk a little bit about that component of the play.
Well, it was important for all of us to portray the truth about the second wave of feminism, because the media got it all wrong because of racism, and they tried to, divide and conquer. And yet, Gloria learned feminism from Black women, and those 2 in particular, Dorothy Pitman Hughes and Flo Kennedy, but many more. And that Black women, she always talks about how they didn't have a choice about being unwoke, right? It was like, you're Black and you're going to be oppressed, and you're a woman, so it's double jeopardy. There wasn't really the word intersectional back then, but it's the same thing. And it was, for her, it was just a no-brainer. Well, of course I'm going to learn from Black women, because they're way ahead of the game. They never got to get the goodies of what it meant to be, privileged and white. There were never those goodies as a woman. So they've just been, so woke and such feminists from the beginning.
So powerful. And I wonder if you've been able to get the audiences to be diverse.
More and more.
Yeah.
We're working hard at that. We certainly have managed to find diversity in the generations, and we're working really hard to encourage and welcome everyone to come in. And we've had a wonderful program called the Hopeaholics, which I'd like to mention because it's a word that Gloria made up by saying, "I am a hopeaholic," and she just has such optimism. And so we started a program called the Hopeaholics, and what it is are people that see the show, become inspired, and are willing to underwrite student groups to come to see the show. And we've had great success, and we're going out to charter schools and some of the public schools, and 30 students a night come to see the show thanks to the Hopeaholics, which was yet something else that Gloria inspired us to do.
Another Gloria clap.
Another Gloria inspiration.
All right, so let's open it up. Questions. Where's the first question?
Hi, thank you guys for all the work that you do. Regarding feminism and intersectionality, I was wondering how you think feminism has evolved today to be intersectional, and if not, what work do you think still needs to be done?
Why don't you take that?
I will. I'll be happy to take that. Yeah, my daughter, who's 25, taught me about intersectionality, because, it wasn't a word that we really focused on, but it was sort of already organically inclusive. As Gloria says, if it's white feminism, it's not feminism, because feminism means equality of everybody, male and female. But I think that the focus on it right now is critical and important, and I think timely, and like my daughter self-identifies as a radical intersectional feminist, and she's taught me to say when I'm a feminist that I include intersectional. And I think it's so important, and I really applaud young people taking that on and knowing that they have a lot, we as white women have a lot to learn from our Black sisters. So I'm assuming you're an intersectional feminist.
We all are, right?
We all are.
Yes. Next question?
Hi. I was just wondering, throughout the greater context of the show, what have audiences really taken away as like a message from it overall?
I think that many people have taken away the message of inspiration to activate, that anything you do can make a difference. I think people have taken away the idea of conversing with people and having a real conversation that can lead to change, which is something that Gloria has always, been a proponent of. I think people feel in this age of social media that it's so refreshing to talk to another person face to face over a cup of coffee and exchange ideas, try to change minds where minds are needing change, right? I think that you just feel empowered in some gentle way to not leave the theater and be the loudest voice, but leave the theater and be a voice, whether it's your own voice or listening to someone else's. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. Theater for me has always been a place where you can safely take in ideas, where you can safely examine what we're talking about. And so, you know, I think it's just helped a lot of people wake up and realize that all of us can do something to move forward in whatever way, in whatever area is important to you.
When I left, I said, I've got to let everyone know about this play and we need everyone to go. Before we end this, I have one fun game, Christine, I'm going to put you through, okay? Because you're friends with Gloria, you've played Gloria, but how well do you really know Gloria? Okay? So I have a few questions, and I know the answers because Gloria gave them to me, so we'll see if you get them right. Rapid round, here we go. Okay, month you were born.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the warm-up, but we're going to, okay. That's March. Okay, town you were born in.
Toledo.
Toledo.
Is that right?
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
What talent were you going to use to get out of Toledo?
Tap dancing.
Correct. This is a hard one. I didn't know. College major.
Oh, political science.
Ding, ding, ding. Correct. Okay, headline you consider to be a low part of your career.
Playboy bunny.
Yes, correct. What was your column in New York Magazine?
The city politics.
Woo, she's good. Favorite accessory?
Oh, those rings, those big rings.
Yes, correct. Okay. Who performed the ceremony at her wedding, or your wedding, I should say? Well, no, because you're Gloria.
Oh, Wilma Mankiller's
Yes.
husband. Right? No, she did it.
She did it. Wilma Mankiller did it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, yeah,
But
correct.
close enough, right? Okay.
Okay, two more. Finish your quote, Gloria. The truth will set you free, but first...
It will piss you off.
And final but not last, your favorite saying is blank-tastic.
Fan-effing-tastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl and Christine, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you all.